Ida B. Wells-Barnett was a noticeable writer, lobbyist, and scientist in the late 19th and mid-20th hundreds of years. In the course of her life, she fought sexism, bigotry, and savagery. As a gifted essayist, Wells-Barnett likewise involved her abilities as a writer to reveal insight into the states of African Americans all through the South. Ida Chime Wells was brought into the world in Holly Springs, Mississippi on July 16, 1862. She was naturally introduced to bondage during the nationwide conflict. When the conflict finished, Wells-Barnett's folks turned out to be politically dynamic in remaking time legislative issues. Her folks imparted into her the significance of training. Wells-Barnett, selected at Rust School, yet was ousted when she began a debate with the college president. In 1878, Wells-Barnett went to visit her grandma. While she was there, Wells-Barnett was educated that a yellow fever plague had hit her old neighborhood. The illness took both of Wells-Barnett's folks and her baby sibling. Passed on to raise her siblings and sister, she accepted a position as an educator so she could hold the family together. At last, Wells-Barnett moved her kin to Memphis, Tennessee. There she kept on filling in as a teacher. In 1884, Wells-Barnett recorded a claim against a train vehicle organization in Memphis for out-of-line treatment. She had been lost a top-notch train, in spite of having a ticket. Despite the fact that she won the case on the nearby level, the decision was at last upset in government court. After the lynching of one of her companions, Wells-Barnett directed her concentration toward white horde savagery. She became wary about the reasons people of color were lynched and decided to examine a few cases. She distributed her discoveries in a flyer and composed a few sections in nearby papers. Her uncover around 1892 lynching rankled local people, who consumed her press and drove her from Memphis. Following a couple of months, the dangers turned out to be so terrible she had to move to Chicago, Illinois. In 1893, Wells-Barnett joined other African American innovators in requiring the blacklist of the world's Columbian work. The boycotters blamed the work panel for locking out African Americans and adversely depicting the African American population. In 1895, Wells-Barnett wedded popular African American attorney Ferdinand Barnett. Together, the couple had 4 kids. All through her vocation, Wells-Barnett offset parenthood with her activism. Wells-Barnett voyaged globally, revealing insight into lynching to unfamiliar crowds. Abroad, she transparently faced white ladies in the testimonial development who overlooked lynching. Due to her position, she was many times mocked and shunned by ladies' testimonial associations in the U.S. By and by, Wells-Barnett stayed dynamic the ladies' freedoms development. She was a pioneer behind the public relationship of Hued Ladies Club, which was made to resolve issues managing social equality and ladies' testimonial. Despite the fact that she was in Niagara, succumbs to the establishing of the public relationship for the headway of minorities individuals, NAACP, her name isn't referenced as an authority pioneer. Late in her vocation, Wells-Barnett zeroed in on metropolitan change in the developing city of Chicago. She passed on Spring 25, 1931.